Oh, hi there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cardwell's Cauldron. I'm Cardwell.
And I'm Kevin.
And with this production of Geektopia Island here, we're going through a little fun deck. It's definitely a token deck. I know green-white Selesnya tokens has ramped across the whole, standard play field. I wanted to make this with a fun enchantment that we all loved when it first got spoiled, pretty much.
Yeah.
It is called Divinity Evolved. Basically, we're going to run with Divine Visitation. That's the first card we're going to talk to about, because it's literally the only reason why I built the deck.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic, and hopefully it'll be different enough just to be fun.
Yeah.
Because with this card, 3/2 white enchantment. When one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel tokens with flying and vigilance are controlled instead.
So good. You're just
it's super good. It's really bad in multiples, but they're going to try to destroy it as soon as they can. And every time I talk about this card around, they're like, well, it just takes so much to, get it done. That's why all our dudes make dudes. That's all it is. So once you plop this down on turn 5, then you're already going to have a 4/4 angel, hopefully.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's so good because it just does so much for you. You just make dudes do things.
And I have play tested this on MTG Arena, and every time I plop it down and make the first token, the opponent always scoops. They're just like, nope, can't deal with that because it's just insane.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and tell us about our first creature here.
All right, so with that, the creatures, we start with Emmara, the Soul of the Accord. So green and a white for a 2/2 legendary elf cleric.
Yep.
When she becomes tapped, you create a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink.
Yep.
And with Divine Visitation, you make a 4/4 angel when she becomes tapped.
Exactly. She's been on the spotlight. She's really good. She's really fun to play with. Works with Convoke, which we do have. We have to have some staple cards because they just work so well, and especially with the enchantment. Now, this deck is 3 colors actually. It's Naya, because we have Legion Warboss. 2 in a red goblin soldier. It has Mentor, but at the beginning of combat, produce a 1/1 goblin, and it must attack this turn. And it's a 2/2, and that's just the cutest thing, because Divine Visitation, combat. Oh, I have a 4/4 angel token. It must attack this turn, but whatever. It has vigilance and it flying, so.
Oh yeah. It still does have the, because it says that token gains haste until end of turn and attacks this combat if able.
Yeah.
So it's not that goblin, so it still has to.
And with Warboss, it's cute because Warboss doesn't have a swing, so therefore the token's already swinging. It just literally says it has to attack, so therefore the vigilance still stays. So it's like, oh, 4/4 flying. And
that's
good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I've dominated with this card with that, especially if you have 2 Warbosses, you're just like, flying angels, go.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of double dudes, we got Leonin Warleader. He is he's a 4/4 for 4 mana, 2 white and 2. When he attacks, you put 2 1/1 cat tokens into play, and they have lifelink and they're tapped and attacking. This dude is so good.
Yeah, just in basic, him in any deck, he's good.
Yeah, swing 4, I get two dudes, and I get to gain 2 life regardless.
Yeah.
I will take that all day.
Exactly. And, like you said, with the enchantment, it's like, phew, sure the angels are tapped and attacking, but you still have 4/4 dudes.
Yeah.
Just every time he swings.
It's so good.
Yeah. Another one that just happens just because it does, Tendershoot Dryad. I love this card, and I will try to use this card no matter what. 4 and a green with a sin, so if you have 10 permanents, which you probably will, then you get City's Blessing. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 sapperling creature token. That's their upkeep and your upkeep. So you play this, hopefully you have an enchantment out. If not, past turn, you get a 4/4 flyer. Done. Now, if you don't have the Visitation, sapperlings you control get +2/+2 as long as you control City's Blessing. So you either have hopefully 3/3s or 4/4 flying vigilance.
Yeah, either way, you're going to get to outpace them because you're making dudes at the end of their turn and your turn.
Yeah.
Do.
Exactly, just do.
The final dude of the deck is Tristani Discordant, because, it's just good.
It's just good.
5 mana for a 1/4 Dryad. Other creatures you control get +1/+1.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And when it comes into play, you get 2 1/1 soldiers with lifelink.
Yep.
Great. And at the end of your turn, each player gains control of all creatures they control.
Yeah.
Or they own. So you're just like, cool. If you steal my dude, I get it back.
Yeah.
But that's not really like the main part of him. Mainly, you're just bumping your dudes up and you're making dudes.
Yeah. She's actually still pretty cheap, like $3 or $4. So like for a mythic, that's a pretty good price. That's why I threw her in, because it's a dude that swarms your board and pumps up your board at the same time. It's just too good. And then of course the staple as well, Flower and Flourish. It's a 1-drop. Go get a basic plains or forest. I was gonna say mountain for some reason, and then put it in your hand. Just ramp spell. Thank you. And of course the Flourish is creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. The fact that Flower feeds Flourish is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly balanced card.
And Flourish is real good in a deck like this, because even if you don't get Divine Visitation, this card gets to help you just win the game that turn. Because you're like, all my 1/1 dudes are now 3/3 dudes.
Yeah.
And that's just so good.
And then with Legion's Landing, it's just a 1-drop enchantment that produces a 1/1 white vampire token with lifelink. It's just really good. It's a great 1-drop along with Flower. And whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you transform Legion's Landing, of course, and it becomes a land. It's called Adonto the First Fort. Now, you can tap it to add a white of any color, or tap a white for your mana pool, and then you can pay 2 and a white, tap, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. So yeah.
Visitation, you're making 4/4s for 3.
Yeah.
All day.
Say they board wipe you, and you're like, okay, well, I have a 4/4 now at the end of your turn.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
We have the Seal Aways, because you need the Seal Away to just deal with that pesky whatever.
Yeah.
And it's 2 mana, flash, enchantment, enters the play, exile target creature an opponent controls until Seal Away leaves the field.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just against aggro and whatnot. There's not much green Stompy that showed up, but I mean, still a turn 2 Still Leaf Champion is scary no matter what happens. So you need something to deal with the early creatures for sure. And of course, we have to have it. I know it's slightly expensive. It's $14, I think, around TCG mid. But March of the Multitudes. It's just a perfect, beautiful card. So it costs X, green, white, white. Create X, 1/1 white soldier tokens with lifelink, but it has Convoke, which means you can tap any of your dudes to add a mana. Even the creature represents the color, like a white soldier token will produce a white for it. So, and it's instant speed. And you've probably seen this in action, but end of turn, tap all my dudes and land, and I have 10 more creatures.
And the silly part of this is if you have multiples, those new dudes can tap to make more dudes with the other March if you want to play it.
Yeah, Convoke does not care about summoning sickness, because it's literally the Convoke is tapping it. The creature's not tapping itself.
Yeah, it's so strong.
Yeah, so you're just like, March, and then March again. And if you're lucky enough to do it, then you have Divine Visitation out with angels.
And you're just like, I have all the angels after.
Like, at the end of your turn. So, do I win? Because I win at that point.
Yeah. Next up is Conclave Tribunal. It's 4 mana for another enchantment with Convoke. And when it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. This enchantment is so good.
Yes.
Because it hits anything. Creature, planeswalker, enchantment, artifacts.
Yep.
Yada, yada, yada.
And it throws off tempo too. Like, their turn 3, or let's say they go first, so their turn 4 they put out a big dude. Your turn 3, you can play a Tribunal and get rid of it.
Yeah, because Convoke just allows you to play it with 2 dudes and 2 land. You're 2/2 and 2.
They're just like, it's Karn. You're like, well, my turn, Tribunal that, because, suck it. It's just extremely powerful, and it helps Emmara tap as well.
Yeah.
Now, of course, because I want to use her and she's silly with all these tokens, Huatli, Radiant Champion. 2 green and white. She's the green, of course, green-white Huatli. Loyalty counter is 3, but hold on. +1. Put a loyalty counter on Huatli Champion for each creature you control.
A lot.
A lot. It might not seem much, but her payout is worth it.
Yeah.
So you get -1. Target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control.
You can straight one-shot somebody with this if you have enough.
Yeah. Or gain a crap ton of life, because most of those tokens, almost all of them have lifelink, except for the goblin one. Or you -8, which should be pretty easy to get. You get an emblem that says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card.
So what's better than March of the Multitudes? Drawing a card off each of those cards that comes into play.
It's
awesome.
Literally a Sphinx's Revelation with dudes by this point.
It's so good. You're just like, I'm going to draw 7 cards.
I'm going to draw enough for another march and then cast that march. And then we'll see where we're at from there.
Yeah, and it's a maze, so you don't actually have to deck yourself, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. Which almost has happened to me once, so you got to be careful with that.
And then lastly, we have the other Huatli, the Warrior Poet.
Because why not?
She is red and 1, red, white, and 3 for 3 loyalty. She +2s, you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Cool. But you could pay 0 and you make a 3/3 dinosaur.
Yeah.
With trample. So you're like, pay 0, make a 4/4 angel.
Yep.
And then you -X, she deals X damage divided as you choose number of target creatures. Creatures dealt damage this way can't block this turn.
Yeah. And even on that turn, that can literally be like, your only blockers can't block, I swing for game.
Yeah. She can do so much for you. She just kills a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah. So with all the combination, this is definitely just all the pieces working together. Should be able to help. With the lands, because we have so little red, but it's just useful to do it with shocks and the buddy lands, we have the Clifftop Retreat and Sacred Foundry, because why not? And then, of course, we have Sunpetal Grove and Temple Garden, which is the green-white, the dual lands, pretty much. And then we have Forest and Plains. You can maybe put 1 mountain in just in case, but not many people are playing Field of Ruins right now, or yeah, if that's in play.
Yeah, but you still want basics for the simple fact that Settle the Wreckage is still a card.
Yes.
And Assassin's Trophy.
Yep.
Both of those are going to do works on your deck in here because you're just like, oh, Assassin's Trophy, my Divine Visitation, I at least want to get a land from it.
Exactly.
Or Settle is going to be super good against you because you get to get a lot of lands.
Yeah.
And then your March of Multitudes becomes ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing with March of the Multitudes and Settle is that they don't know if they want to do that quite a bit because
Yeah.
you can just crack back almost immediately.
Yeah.
Now, of course, with Standard still forming itself, and we're not sure what's going to happen until like maybe the Pro Tour. But so instead of sideboard, we have like recommendations to maybe throw in or change. And the first one is, again, Charge. I've already talked about this card in the last deck. But creatures you control get +1/+1 until in a turn, instant, 1 white. It's to fight Goblin Chain Whirler. That's really what it is. Like early game, if you have a bunch of tokens and you just want 1 white to protect your dudes.
That's pretty good play because you're just like, no, don't.
Yeah, it's super cheap and efficient.
Next up is Dawn of Hope. It's 1 white and 1 for an enchantment. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2 and you can draw a card.
Seems good.
And you pay 4, you create a 1/1 white soldier. So essentially, you get to pay 4 and make a 4/4 angel.
Yeah. And this is extremely good against control. Like,
Yeah.
this is what it's for.
Yeah, that card is insane. I played it in a draft on Arena, and that card is insane how much value you get off of it.
Oh, yeah. The next one, Citywide Bust. 1 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures with toughness 4 or greater. Now, this is when you're at a very harrowing spot because Boros Angels is out there. And when they're just like, turn 3 Resplendent, turn 4 Shalai, turn 5 Lyra, you're like, ah! You have to kill all of them. No matter what like big angels you have on your field.
Yeah. But if you don't have the angels yet, your dudes are still going to live because they're all under
Exactly.
4. Next up is Make a Stand. It's 3 mana, 1 white and 2 for an instant. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and then gain indestructible until the turn.
Yep. Since Heroic Intervention is gone, this is a perfect thing for it. Like when the Ritual Soot, which will destroy your whole board, pretty much. This will help you win. Or if you're going against another token deck, because green-white will be everywhere, you swing, they do all the weird blocks, and you're like, well, my dudes are indestructible and +1.
I like it.
So you can maybe mini board wipe. Now this one, Mavren, Fein, Dusk Apostle. This is like an asterisk on this guy. Like if you just want to go green-white straight up without the red, you would replace him for Goblin Warleader. But he's kind of the same thing. So let's get to him. He's a vampire. Whenever 1 or more non-token vampires you control attack, put a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. He's a 2/2. He's kind of just like, if you don't have the shocklands for red or white, you just throw him in instead.
He's pretty good. He still is like a Warboss because he makes a dude a turn.
Yeah, you have to swing with him, but meh, that dude stays back so he doesn't die off. And yeah, he's very cheap too. He's like less than $1.
Yeah. And you have your Settle the Wreckages that you're going to want on the board because things can get out of hand real quick.
Yeah.
And it's a great reset button. Exile all attacking dudes. They get to go get basic lands for each one.
Yep.
And in this format where basics aren't ran as much because it's just easy to color fix, it's not going to be as valuable.
especially with the control matchups are like Grixis, Jeskai, and Sultai, which are all 3 colors. They're not going to have that many basics.
Yeah.
Alright, and of course, the next one is Impervious Greatwurm. Just why not? If you have it. I don't have one, but if you have this buy a box promo, it's 16/16 indestructible with Convoke. Just because.
Yeah, it's super good. You have enough dudes to just be like, this dude's cheap, ba-bow.
Yeah.
And he's just a huge dude. He needs to be answered, and I don't really know. Like, you have to Conclave Tribunal him or seal him away, because that's the only way you answer this dude.
Yeah. But besides that, if you're able to get him out really quick, he's just a funny dude to plop down and be like, yeah, he's here. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, I would definitely say put like another Divine Visitation in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Just because you may need it later. You may want to put that 4th one in against like a control heavy deck or an enchantment heavy deck. Because that's what your deck's supposed to do, is play the enchantment. So you want to make sure you have it.
Yeah. And with Knight of Autumn, that card is so good to be in like main board that it will destroy any enchantment or anything as possible.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But with that is the deck. It's my take on tokens. I love it. It makes me sad that green-white Selesnya tokens like destroyed the meta, because I kind of wanted to like blow it out with this deck, but it's okay. It's all right. But again, the list will be down below, and hopefully you enjoyed your stay here at Geektopia Island. Goodbye. Be sure to like and comment on the video, and to get our latest and greatest, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. And to get notifications, there's also a little bell that you can hit. Now, if you want to look at some old deck tech videos, go ahead and click to the right. And if you want to see them in action, click the videos below. Thank you.